Have you ever had a moment where everything in your life is technically fine? You have a job, you have friends, nothing is falling apart, but inside you feel this strange emptiness? Like something is missing, but you can't explain what. It's one of the most confusing feelings in psychology, because how can you feel nothing when everything looks good? Let's break down the real psychology behind why people feel empty, even when life seems okay. 1. You're living on autopilot. Most people don't realize this. You can live an entire life without ever feeling fully alive. Psychologists say emotional emptiness often shows up when your brain enters autopilot mode. Wake up, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. Life becomes predictable, routine, and emotionally flat. You're doing things, but you're not feeling them. Your brain stops releasing the meaning chemicals, dopamine, norepinephrine, and oxytocin, because nothing feels new, exciting, or fulfilling anymore. It's not that your life is bad, it's that your mind is bored. Deeply, silently bored. And boredom, when it lasts too long, turns into emotional numbness. 2. You're meeting expectations, not desires. Here's another reason people feel empty. You're living the life people told you to live, not the life you actually want. Your job looks good on paper, your lifestyle makes sense to everyone else. But something inside you whispers, "This isn't me." Psychologists call this self-alienation, when the life you live and the person you truly are no longer match. You didn't fail, you just built a life based on expectations instead of meaning. And when your outer world and inner world no longer align, emptiness becomes the default emotion. 3. You ignore emotional needs because you should be grateful. This is one of the most dangerous traps. When people feel empty, they often tell themselves, "But I have everything. I should be grateful." And gratitude is healthy, but forcing yourself to be grateful to avoid uncomfortable feelings, that's emotional suppression. You convince yourself that your feelings aren't valid. You minimize your own needs. You silence your sadness because others have it worse. But psychology is clear. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. It disconnects you from yourself. And the more disconnected you are, the more empty you feel. 4. You've been in survival mode for too long. Some people feel empty because their nervous system is exhausted. Maybe you went through years of stress, pressure, or pushing yourself. Maybe you learned to stay strong for too long. Maybe you got used to functioning, not feeling. This is called post-stress emotional blunting. Your body becomes so used to surviving that it doesn't know how to relax, enjoy, or feel deeply anymore. Your brain learned to shut down emotions to protect you, but now it doesn't know how to turn them back on. It's not a flaw. It's a sign that your mind is tired, and it needs rest more than anything. 5. You lack connection, not people. Here's a painful truth. You can be surrounded by people and still feel empty. Why? Because humans don't need people. They need connection. Connection that is safe. Connection that is deep. Connection where you feel seen, not just accompanied. Psychologists call this emotional isolation, when you have people around, but you don't have anyone you feel close to. It's not loneliness, it's lack of emotional intimacy. And without it, life feels shallow. 6. You've stopped doing things that bring meaning. Many people feel empty because life is turned into responsibilities, obligations, and routines, and nothing that nourishes the soul. You don't play the things you used to love. You don't explore. You don't experiment. You don't create. You don't dream. Your days are filled with tasks, but your heart gets nothing. Psychologists call this meaning deprivation, when life is full, but not fulfilling. Meaning is not a luxury. It's a psychological need. Without it, everything feels hollow. 7. You're disconnected from yourself. And finally, the deepest reason you might feel empty is you've spent so long taking care of everything around you that you stopped taking care of yourself. You haven't checked in with your feelings. You haven't asked yourself what you want. You haven't sat in silence with your own thoughts. Emptiness is often a sign that you've lost touch with your inner world. But here's the hopeful part. Emptiness isn't a sign you're broken. It's a sign your mind is asking for change, for meaning, for connection, for something real. 8. How to reconnect with yourself. If you've been feeling empty, numb, or disconnected, the good news is you can reconnect with yourself. Psychology shows that emptiness is not a permanent state. It's a signal. Here's where you start. First, slow down. Your emotions can't speak to you if your life is too loud. Create small, quiet moments. A walk, a journal, a pause before bed. This helps your nervous system shift out of survival mode. Second, do one thing that feels like you. Not something productive, not something impressive, something that feels familiar, nostalgic, or meaningful. Identity comes back slowly through small pieces. Third, express, don't suppress. Talk to someone safe. Write what you feel. Let emotions exist without judgment. Feeling is the opposite of emptiness. And finally, start choosing instead of drifting. Choose what you want. Choose what you believe in. Choose what matters to you. Every small decision reconnects you to your identity. Because emptiness isn't the absence of something. It's the invitation to find what's missing.